Well, you know, I really didn't care for it, but it had its moments.
All right, we're here to talk about Wonder Woman 1984, the most anticipated movie of the year. Had the new James Bond movie not been released, it should have been released this year.
We just saw it at Studio Movie Grill here in Duluth, where we hang out. And it wasn't bad, but it wasn't really all that good. It had its moments. I love the music. Hans Zimmer, one of my favorite composers, did the music for Wonder Woman 84. And he's of German descent, and he's done a lot of good music. He did The Dark Knight. He did The Gladiator. He did a lot of great movies. And the score for Wonder Woman 84 is really, really good. One thing about the movie, it's a little long. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes long. And it opens up with they're in Rome at the beginning. You kind of want to explain that, you know. And
no, they're on Paradise Island. It opens on Paradise Island, where
that's right,
the Amazonians have their secret islands hidden from the world.
Right.
In the Bermuda Triangle area of the world.
The opening is pretty good, but then it drags on for about 45 minutes. It's sort of a talkie. It sets the stage for what's going to happen. And so I was, like I said, I didn't hate it, but it wasn't what I anticipated.
Okay.
How about you?
Actually, I was somewhat pleasantly surprised because there's been so much hatred for this movie since it was released on Christmas Day 2020.
Right.
In the fan groups, the fanboys and fangirls really tongue-lashed this movie.
Right.
And I was anticipating not really enjoying it, but I liked it more than I thought I would. And I thought the star, Gal Gadot, as I call her, was fantastic.
Well, she looked great. I mean, I'll have to admit that. She's, but...
As Diana Prince and Wonder Woman.
Right. And so and she looks good. She plays the part pretty well. But I didn't have any feelings for any of the characters.
You know what? You just hit it right on the head.
I just didn't...
have an emotional attachment.
No, I did not. And The performances were adequate, but like I said, when I watch a movie, I like to feel like that I like to feel some sort of attachment to that character, and I just didn't feel it with Wonder Woman.
Right.
I didn't,
Well, you never liked the old Linda Carter show or the character.
No, I wasn't a big fan of Wonder Woman on TV, but I did watch some of them. But I wanted to see this movie because it was really the first movie at Christmas time that, because I want to get people back in the movie theaters. And I was talking to the girl up there at the theater tonight, and she said Christmas Day they did really well. Now, they have Wonder Woman on 4 screens. But like I said, and it's not a great movie, but it's not a real bad movie. So, but there's some parts of the movie I just didn't buy. Now the guy, we need to look his name up. The guy that played
the villain,
he was also in Equalizer 2. He was terrific in that. But I just didn't buy him in this. It was just too, I don't know. I like him, but I just didn't.
Well, they put him in a wig, and he kind of resembled Donald Trump.
Well, you said that, but I don't think that's true.
I do.
Because he wore sunglasses. Donald Trump has never worn sunglasses.
Well, that's one little scene.
That's just what you think.
That's one little scene.
Folks, he doesn't look like Donald Trump. But anyway.
Well, that's a matter of opinion. I think he resembles a young 1980s Donald Trump.
We'll have a picture of him. Let's take a look.
All right.
Here we go.
As we listen to the music in the background, I like the period piece. See, Wonder Woman is immortal. Her character doesn't age. So
this is the villain here, and he's adequate. He's okay, but I just didn't buy the relationship with his son. It was sort of contrived. We never knew what happened to his wife. He just had a son. Maybe he was adopted or whatever, but I didn't buy that relationship between him and his son either.
Well, his son also, obviously he's adopted, right?
Right, because he's, I think he's Asian or Asian descent. But anyway, that doesn't matter. I just didn't buy the relationship between the two.
One thing I thought was convoluted is the love interest of Diana Prince and Wonder Woman is Steve Trevor, right, from World War II. And the first film took place, obviously, during the World War II conflict in the 40s. And so this is in the 80s, because as I mentioned previously, Wonder Woman doesn't age. She's immortal. So they had to find a way to bring Steve Trevor, who is mortal, into the 80s. And the way they did it wasn't that innovative. And I didn't buy it, as you say. I'm not going to give anything away. This is pretty much going to be a spoiler-free review for those that haven't seen it yet. But I will say this. I think it's important to see this movie on the big screen instead of on a television or a phone. The sound is incredible in this movie, and it's a good cinematic experience.
It has excellent sound, and the score is terrific behind Zimmer. It's wonderful. The score is really good, and the sound is really good. And this theater has really good sound. And I know some of the scenes where stuff was going on. It just the subwoofer just rocked the seats.
Oh man, we were.
I don't know, but
blown off our butts.
If you watch this movie on a TV screen, you're just really missing out. You need to see it on a big screen if you want to go see Wonder Woman 1984.
Now, I'm a Marvel guy, but I'm also a Wonder Woman guy. I'm an old fart. I grew up with the Linda Carter TV show. So there's a soft spot in my heart for Wonder Woman. And going in, I thought, they're going to really have to do a lot to make this better than even the worst episode of the Linda Carter series.
Right.
And I went in with an open mind. And I swear, it's not that friggin' bad. It's not trash or garbage like people are posting these trolls on Facebook.
It's not bad at all. I mean, I didn't dislike the movie. I didn't really care for it a lot, but I didn't dislike it. I was entertained by it. I didn't mind spending $6 to go see it.
At the Studio Movie Grill here in Duluth, Georgia. Mm-hmm. By the way, Pedro Pascal played Maxwell Lord, the villain, the male villain in Wonder Woman. And there's a female villain I won't give away, but let's just say, by now most people realize Kristen Wiig from Saturday Night Live fame plays a character in the role. She's a friend of Diana Prince.
Right. And they started out as friends.
Right.
And I won't give it away, but they don't end up as friends,
Right.
But, but the villain, what was his name again?
I just said it.
Anyway, if you want to see him in a
Maxwell.
Good movie, if you want to see him...
See, it's forgetful. It is forgettable.
He's got this kind of, he's got that face you recognize, but you can't remember the guy's name. But he was great in Equalizer 2.
Equalizer 2, Denzel Washington.
He's great in that. And
yeah,
so, but and he's adequate in Wonder Woman 2.
Now, there's some cool things that happen in this movie. I've kind of liked that they explain the invisible plane of Wonder Woman.
Right.
You're not a fan of the show. I've read the comics. I'm a nerd, but I've always loved the invisible plane, her invisible jet. And so they have a moment with that, and that was cool.
That was good. That was good.
Well, they're trying to evade radar. And they got the period right. They got the 80s right. There's a great scene you've probably seen in the trailer. I'm going to play a little clip from the trailer or preview of the movie. And they shot it in a mall in Virginia, the state of Virginia.
It was shot in several places. It was shot in Virginia. A lot of it was shot there. They're different places.
I like this music. I mean, they did a good job with the soundtrack.
Well, Hans Zimmer's great. He got a great score. It really does.
So Maxwell Lord is the villain,
right?
The Trump-like villain in Wonder Woman 1984. Again, now I don't think they over-politicized it. I went in thinking it would be some sort of hit piece on the right, and it's not. It's really not.
I'm not buying that. I don't buy that. You can say what you want. I'm just not buying that.
I'm agreeing with you, though.
You know,
I'm agreeing with you.
I didn't see anybody but that guy playing the character in that role.
Well, I will say about Gal Gadot, she looks awesome. She's an Israeli soldier, former Israeli soldier who got into acting.
I put the picture back up. Yeah, she's really good.
On the flip side, the one negative thing I'll say that I've not heard anyone else say, I do think that going back to the first Wonder Woman movie and then the ensemble piece she did with the Legion, I think they should have dubbed over her voice. She speaks good English, certainly better than Melania Trump.
No, I like her voice. Why? I could understand everything.
There's a couple times I really had trouble understanding what she's trying to enunciate, and I'm used to Linda Carter. Again, I'm an old fart, so I'm used to perfect enunciation of the English language. I don't know. I think if they dubbed over her voice, it might have been interesting.
I think she was fine, you know.
Oh, she was fine, but I'm just saying the voice, I wish they could have had a voice artist maybe dub her over.
I think you're wrong on that.
All right, well, hey, opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one or two. But I love her, actually, and I'll say this, she friggin' flies in this movie. I'm not giving anything away in terms of the plot, but she literally learns how to fly like Superman. And that might sound hokey, but it's not as bad as Princess.
Well, there's a scene in it near the end of the movie where she has this suit on where she has these wings.
Yeah. You know, so and she's literally flying, but it's not as bad as Princess Leia flying in one of the recent Star Wars movies. It was a joke when Princess Leia flew in space. Did you ever see that? Maybe you didn't.
No.
But it was a totally hokey, ridiculous point and moment in the Star Wars more recent movies. I think it was episode 8. Right. But, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. The acting, Gal was great. Chris Pine was okay, and but the acting was hit or miss. He
wasn't in it very much.
No, he wasn't.
He was in it maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes tops. He wasn't in it very long.
No, he wasn't. And I like him. He plays Captain Kirk in the Star Trek reboot of the original series and all sorts of other movies. Of course, he's the son, for those that don't know, of Robert Pine, who played the Sarge in Chips. He was Ponch's boss in the old the old action show Chips, California Highway Patrol. Now, Al, so you will give me, you were kicking and screaming. You were kicking and screaming going into this film.
I didn't want to go see it. I didn't think, because I never was a Wonder Woman fan. But like I said, I'm glad I saw it. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I was entertained for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Make
sure you stay throughout the end credits, because they sort of copied Marvel. Marvel always has a nice scene or 2 or 3 during the end credits.
Well, it's got a cute... the credits will roll for about maybe a minute, and then there's a scene within the credits. It's really kind of cool. You need to watch it. I won't tell you what it is. You just need to watch it.
You do. And again, it's much better on the big screen. I can see why people watching it on HBO Max would not enjoy it, or watching it on their stupid phone or a tablet or a laptop.
Most of the people that watched it, that have complained about it, watched it on television on HBO Max. They didn't see it in a theatrical environment, which they need to do. Because the movie's shot in CinemaScope, it's widescreen, and it's got great sound. And you need to go to a theater that's got good audio.
Another complaint, Al Hardy, I'm Chance Bartels, by the way, it was that the CGI sucked. This is what I read from fanboys and fangirls and keyboard warriors. And I didn't think the CGI was that bad. On the big screen where it's blown up larger than friggin' life.
It was okay.
I don't know what the hell these people are smoking out there. It was fine.
I liked it all right.
I'm not paid by Warner. I'm not a shill. I'm telling you the honest truth. I will always speak my mind, won't I, Al Hardy?
That's true.
Much
Sometimes
to
you
me,
do.
people's
That's
chagrin.
true. But like I said, I do thumbs. I give it 3 thumbs.
Okay.
Out of 5.
Okay.
And so, like I said, you'll be entertained. You might like it better than maybe I would, but like I said, I didn't feel like I wasted my time this afternoon going to the movies.
The music was awesome, as you've mentioned.
The music is great.
Oh my! And you talked about the composer and his awards, didn't you?
Hans Zimmer, yeah.
Did you talk about him winning an Oscar award?
He won an Oscar for The Lion King. Mm-hmm. He also did the music for Gladiator.
Rain Man.
Rain Man was his first. He's German descent. He's from Frankfurt, Germany. Hans Zimmer. And his first movie in the U.S. was Rain Man, which I liked. And but he kind of mixes electronic music with orchestration, which I like. I really do like that. He did the music for one of my favorite movies, True Romance, that came out.
Oh yeah, the Quentin Tarantino classic.
Right, he did the music for that. But Hans Zimmer is one of my favorite composers, and I do like his style. I like his music, and he's just. He also, you might not know, he did the theme for the ABC TV World News Tonight.
You mean the dun 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 dun?
Yeah,
I'm gonna pull that up while you're talking.
He did the music for the ABC World News. Yeah.
I'll be gosh darn. And I'll play a little bit of the trailer, which is a good audio-friendly trailer, while you pull up some pictures or whatever you want to do later. But let me look that up. ABC World News Tonight. I didn't know that. That's a cool fact that you know that I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But he's mainly, he does theatrical movies, but he did do that for television.
We played that in our last regular show. Folks, we have a regular show most Sundays. It's called the Nostalgic Podblast, and we do it live on Facebook in our Facebook group, the Nostalgic Podblast. And we're on fistfulofradio.com Saturdays and Sundays 2 to 5 in the afternoon, Atlanta Eastern Time. And we're on YouTube and all your podcast places that you could listen to your podcast. Apple. And we cover various topics. We stick to pop culture. We don't talk politics. Nothing against that. It's just we want to have
we don't do politics.
A more all-encompassing program.
Well, you don't need to pull up the ABC News, but anyway, I just wanted to mention that he did
It's
that.
ABC World News Tonight, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But
and you like Kristen Wiig. I thought she was fine in this, right?
She was good. Yeah. I mean, I just didn't buy some of the stuff in the movie. I didn't, but the acting was adequate.
Now, I've trained you for I've gotten you used to the Marvel movies, right? We watched every Marvel movie together.
I've never been a big Marvel fan. I mean, I'll go to see them in the theaters, but I'm not a fan like you are. You collect comics, which is understandable. You like it more than I do.
Well, I'm going somewhere with this.
And so...
ABC World News Tonight. How would you rank this? It's a DC movie. It's not Marvel. Against a Marvel movie in terms of what you feel or your engagement or your interest in the plot and the story and the
a lot
pace
of times
of the movie.
with Marvel movies, and you know more about them than I do. Sometimes it's hard to follow the story. There's just so much going on. It's kind of like I like the Harry Potter movies, but you have to sit there and take in every little thing to understand what's going on, and you have to do that with the Marvel movies and the DC comics.
That is true. But the thing is, I think Captain Marvel was good. Here's some of the World News Tonight classic theme, finally.
Yeah.
This is like a newer, more upbeat, more modern version of it.
Yeah, that's what he did. He mixes electronic with orchestration.
And he did a great job with Wonder Woman 84. I may get the soundtrack, actually.
Yeah, the soundtrack is great.
But one thing, there's a scene in a club, and it's supposed to be obviously the year 1984, and they did copy the classic Frankie Goes to Hollywood song.
Well, people copy...
Relax, don't do it when you want to come.
People copy people all the time.
But, I mean, it was the same beat. Obviously, someone didn't want to pay at Warner Brothers the royalties to use that music. But
imitation
it was
is a serious form of flattery.
Well said, and that's true, but they definitely copied that song. And I wish they used the original Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Yeah. It's at like a company party scene. Okay, I'll stop that.
But
well, let's play a little bit of the trailer, unless you got something else you want to add.
No, then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. We just do like a quick movie view. This is our third one, and we have a neat independent movie we'll review down the road that I'll tell you about, Al. I mean, I don't want to spring this to you while we're live on the air, but there's a cool movie that we'll cover. Now,
the next movie I want to see is Monster Hunter.
Oh, we're going to see that this week.
We kind of snuck in and saw a little bit of it tonight. It looks really good.
Oh, there was like a shipwreck scene. Speaking of shipwreck, as we're live, Don Wells, rest in peace, Marianne, Gilligan's Island.
All right, play the kid. We gotta go.
Okay, here we go. Here's some of the trailer.
My life hasn't been what you probably think it has. We all have our struggles.
Have you ever been in love?
A long, long time ago. You?
So many times. Yeah, all the time.
Welcome to the future. Life is good, but it can be better. And why shouldn't it be? All you need is to want it. Think about finally having everything you always wanted.
I can save today, but you can save the world.
Steve.
No.
I take what I want in return.
Everyone will see. The world needs you. You know what you need to do.
Nothing good is born from lies. And greatness is not what you think.
That is great music.
I love that. They nailed the 80s, I got to tell you.
Well, no, that's Hans Zimmer. He's great. The soundtrack is awesome.
Yes. And the only thing that's hokey, look, I've got to tell the good and the bad here, but when the villain becomes a villain, that was one of the hokiest scenes in the whole film. It was very underwhelming.
Well, that's
now, I'm
true.
talking about the male villain.
Right.
It's so ridiculous.
Well, anyway, if you want to, to see, you can be entertained. I suggest the movie. I don't not suggest the movie, and so.
And we saw it with our friend Michael Hopkins, a big fan of our regular show, Nostalgic Podblast.
Right.
And his comment was, it was kind of funny.
What's he say?
He goes, it was like a bad episode of The Bachelor.
I didn't get that.
Okay, look, all right. As I mentioned earlier, it is kind of silly how they brought Steve Trevor up to date. It's kind of like Steve Trevor, but it's not Steve Trevor. I don't want to blow it for you, but it's really weird, okay? And there's a very corny scene, and not corny in a good way, because I'm a softie. I will get a little choked up if there's a good romantic scene, but there's a scene where she's basically saying goodbye to him again in 1984, and it's just nothing wrong with her, or it just the chemistry in that scene. It was just, I think it was the writing, and that's a common complaint I've read online about the script being weak. Not really the direction per se, but the story being very convoluted, the plot.
Well, the direction was okay. I just didn't.
Patty Jenkins.
Yeah, I didn't. The direction was fine. I just didn't. I just didn't buy some of the aspects of the movie. But like I said, I didn't hate it.
Didn't hate it. And so don't listen to the trolls out there. It's not as bad. It's not great. I mean, I'd give it.
And don't watch it on HBO Max. Go to the movie theater. Movie theaters are safe. They keep them clean. They social distance you. And like me, Chance, we didn't sit next to one another.
No, we had a space in between us.
We had a space in between us. It was just fine.
And sadly, I think there was only maybe 5 or 6 other people besides us.
Well, the movie, they have it on 4 screens. But there was like 5 other people in there. That's just fine. But we went to the 2:30 show.
Yes, we did. For $6, Studio Movie Grill. And it's totally safe. And there's also drive-ins, depending on where you're at in the country, here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. We like our friend at Bill Tush. He runs the Sandy Springs Cinema and Tap House, and they have a great drive-in outdoors, usually Thursday through Sunday. So if you're worried about being indoors, just pay $20, get a carload, a whole clown car of people, and head to that theater or whatever drive-in you might have in your community.
They always say, get more out of life, go to a movie.
That's right. That's right. Now, I hope we did this justice. I didn't want to give anything away. I could go into more detail.
It's just my opinion of the movie. It's just Chance's opinion of the movie. Yeah. I'm not a movie critic. I like going to movies, and I just voice my opinion about them, and that's it.
And plus, on our regular show, we've been talking about it, at least I have, all year long. I've been waiting for this. It was supposed to be released July 4th weekend, and then it got pushed back because of COVID-19 and the theaters being shut down in California and Hollywood and in
I'm glad
New
the
York
theaters
City.
in Georgia are open. That's very good.
Absolutely. And so we gave away actually every episode of the old Linda Carter show in a trivia contest in anticipation of this movie. So we would not have done our listeners and audience members justice if we hadn't reviewed this movie. I had to really, really coax Al to get him in the theater because he was about to say,
"Well, I want to see.
No.
I want to see the new Tom Hanks movie, and I want to see Monster Hunters. Those are the two others that's on my list."
Yeah, and so we'll be more frequent. We're just trying to play it safe in today's times. But I hope 2021 is a great year, and we'll see. There's a lot of shit going on. A lot of poop going on in the world right now, and
all right.
Stay strong, everybody.
Right. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Good night.
Go to the movies.
Mana mana.